Hello, I'm waiting for my body to go to bedtime, and also I'm sick. So anyway, that's beside the point. Point is, this video, uh, as addressed in the title, is for my good friends Dakota and Kat. Dakota, you may know him, 01 trans fan, a good man, a good friend. If you didn't know, recently they got married, and I was there for the ceremony. I was a part of the ceremony. I was one of the groomsmen, and I wanted to make a post or something about everything, congratulating him and all that. But I felt like just it was kind of it was very quick. Whatever I had to do after that wedding, like everything has been a blur since heading out that way, and then coming home was such a just everything. Um, that being said, I just want to talk a little bit about Dakota and Kat for a minute. Um, about 8 years ago, I thought about this last week. About 8 years ago, I met Dakota. We were doing the Insane Asylum podcast, Transformers Insane Asylum podcast, and Brian decided to put the link in Facebook groups, and Dakota one day decided, hey, I'll join this link, and quite honestly, we didn't realize it at the time. It was probably one of the best things that's ever happened, in my life at least. Like, we just all hit it off pretty greatly, right in the beginning. We added him to our group. We added him on Facebook and everything. Well, he actually added us on Facebook. I remember that. And, I accepted the friend request. And, like, from there, I could tell that this guy was a good dude, was a good guy. And boy, oh howdy, was I right about that. And you probably have seen Dakota on this channel multiple times. He's just a good guy and a good friend and a collaborator to work with. He's helped me on many things whenever I'm like, oh, I don't know what to do about this. And I've contributed quite a bit to his channel as well, voiced a bunch of characters in his shows, and there's just it's been a mutual working relationship. But of course, it's not just business. Of course, we've been good friends. It's amazing. My cat is here. It's great, when you've grown up in the early 2000s, when the internet was being a new thing. One of the big lessons your parents and people always gave you is don't trust anybody online, don't do any of this, don't do that. But me, I never cared. I guess I just was always unsupervised on the internet, and that turned out well for me. But I have met some of my greatest friends doing online stuff, and no disrespect to the friends that I have, locally. Of course, they're also some of my dearest friends of all time. But it's amazing that you always get told this stuff. Not amazing. You get reminded about stuff, but it's amazing that all this stuff, all this like preconceived, like you shouldn't be, all this gets proven wrong after meeting people online. And that like Dakota and Kat have become some of my greatest friends. And until 21, I never saw them in person in my life. It's just it's just a nice thing, I guess, because I have friends locally, but like for a good while I didn't have a lot of friends in my life, and then I had some friends who'd leave me anyway. So it's rough, but Dakota and Kat have stuck with me for quite some time, surprisingly, after almost 8 years. Just some of my, like, stuck around with me, and they've helped me through some very rough times, some really, really rough times. Like, I know I'm kind of mentioning this about Dakota quite a bit, but Kat also has helped me through uh, with some advice in life and everything. And it's advice I've never taken for granted. It's advice that I've used, and advice I've kept to heart. Um, I don't know what my cat is up to now. I don't know if you can hear that. She's off to doing something silly. But anyway, um, it's one thing that you meet these people and you become friends with them, but it's another thing when it feels like family. And I know that's like a corny thing, but it's a great thing to just sit down, not sit down, but these people, not only do you trust them, they trust you back, and it's just a wonderful thing. Um, and 2 years ago, maybe a little bit more, uh, when Dakota proposed and all that, um, obviously I was going to do my best to come to the wedding, but a couple years ago, I was asked to be a part of the wedding, and that was um, uh, that was amazing because um, for a brief period of time I wasn't going to weddings and proposals and all that stuff are stuff I genuinely like, and yeah, that's true. Uh, but I wasn't being invited a whole lot. But granted, that's just because people move on from whatever, and drifting apart and all that stuff. But that was a moment of, I feel accepted. Um, Obviously, I had family. I was part of weddings with my brother and all that stuff. Weddings, just wedding, but I had family and all that stuff invited me to all that stuff. But like it meant something, not only like, oh, you're invited to this wedding, but we want you to be a part of this. And it meant a lot because it not only did, like, it meant like, oh, we want you to be there for our special day, we want you to be a part of our special day. And that meant the world to me. And it just uh it just meant everything to me. I was super happy, and trying my best not to cry or tear up right now. But it meant the world, and I'm obviously not throwing shit at like any of my other friends who've never invited, be a part of their stuff, anything. But it just was like, meant the world that these are people I didn't grow up with, but it felt like it did. And then not only that, they asked me to be a part of their big day. And I will never, it was a wonderful wedding. It was a wonderful, wonderful time I had. Me and Max went and made new friendships there while we were at it. But it was a time I won't forget, no matter what. And forgot to grab a drink to toast. This will do. To Dakota and Kat, I hope everything is wonderful for the rest of your lives with each other. You guys are great together. I've always felt that, and the few times I've hung out with you, I can really see how much you both care about each other and how much you mean to one another. And it was an honor to be a part of the wedding, and I was super happy to be a part of it, and I'm super happy to have known you two in my life. I don't want to drink this, so I love you two a lot. Now I do want the cheese.